while we continue to see the average home rents tumbling, there are still some places around the GTA and Ontario where the cost to own a home still greatly outweigh the average monthly rent in many parts of the province.
And joining us now to talk about this is Brittany Kostov, Industry Relations Officer at Zoocasa. Brittany, thanks so much for joining us this morning. So what you're trying to do here is kind of find out the difference it would be to either, own a home versus pay that monthly rent. And I know in your report, there's only two places where it's actually cheaper to pay that mortgage rather than rent. But I don't think it's in the GTA. Tell us where that is.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Good morning. So essentially where we're looking at the two cities where it is in fact cheaper to buy in comparison to rent right now is in Regina and Winnipeg. So we are looking at in Regina, $120 less. And in comparison, and then same boat, Winnipeg, $92 less. So home ownership is giving you immediate monthly savings.
What about in the GTA, Brittany? Because, we seem to be in this market where we've, been talking on air about rents coming down pretty significantly over the last couple of years. The housing prices are coming down as well. Borrowing rates remain kind of low. What's the deal, or what's the sort of opportunities potentially in the GTA where it's maybe more manageable to own versus rent, if at all?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. We do have some great opportunities actually within the GTA. So for example, in the Durham region, Oshawa remains a key affordable option. One bedroom averaged at $1,900, making it one of the fewer areas under $2,000 in terms of rentals. So that is certainly an option where they're able to get in at a great option.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, and Brittany, for people who are kind of on the fence about this and they really want to decide, hey, I can potentially, fork out that extra money to own a place. What are the main differences between renting and owning, not just when it comes to money, but also kind of legal obligations going forward? What should people keep in mind if they do make a big decision to buy?
That's a great point. So personal risk tolerance is absolutely at the front of all the decision making for the consumer out there. They need to understand that saving for that down payment is possible within their own personal situation, and factoring in, of course, taxes, closing costs, lawyer fees. This is something that they absolutely need to take into consideration. And of course, along with home ownership, we are getting built-in equity gains, and those are significant in these situations where leasing might actually be a better option for day-to-day cash flow for these individuals. So they really have to take into consideration that personal risk tolerance in their own scenario. And I think that buyer confidence is absolutely something that we will see at the forefront of 2026. Understanding that there is job stability in their own personal home will play a big factor in them deciding to jump into home ownership, or do they wait things out maybe one more year and continue to rent?
Yeah, of course, geopolitically, we've seen sort of, what's been going on, and that has kept a lot of people on the sidelines or not sure if they want to make that next move. Brittany, another thing I found really interesting about the report you had was, depending on where you're looking at, specifically in Ontario, the key industries that drive, for example, the tech hub in the Waterloo region, that really, I don't want to say warps the market, but really adjusts and changes the way you might look at a market that you might think might have been more affordable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. So Kingston, to your point, the gap between renting and owning is a very modest $226 per month. And in London, it's $416. So the Waterloo gap there does jump to $781 per month. So again, Waterloo's booming tech sector certainly has driven asset prices up much faster than the local rental market can keep pace with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very curious to see. Wish we had more time to talk about it, but actually Oakville surpasses Toronto in terms of that rent-to-own gap. So yeah, if we had more time, I'd ask you about that. Looks like Oakville's the place to be. I have a lot of friends there, so I guess I'll ask them why. Yeah, thank you, Brittany. Unfortunately, we're out of time.
Thank you.